East kneecap.
Ooh. He said you got fat knees. Oh, damn. Oh, damn.
That didn't make any sense.
He said you fat
but
and
you know
skinny.
What? I'll drink to that.
Oh, man.
Loved your biopic, by the way. Anyways.
Shooting was amazing.
Yeah. I don't think the guy who's playing Tupac looks anything like him. I think he should.
We were
So before I get out of here, we're going to play a quick round of Would You Rather. I think they all kind of make you think a little bit.
Okay.
So, and we'll post these on the Weird Fan page so you guys can answer or you can text in. Would you rather have the ability to speak every language but be mute? Or be able to read every language but be blind?
Wait.
Exactly.
Now, how does that even work?
I'm about to say, if you're blind, you can't read.
And if you're
so
mute,
you can't. Now, with that one, I'll have to go with that one. I'll be mute, but can speak every language, because if I can speak it, realistically, I can learn to read it and write it. It'd be easier.
That makes more sense.
If I can read it, but I'm blind, that is useless. That's useless information. I don't ever see the French.
You, sir, have forgotten about Braille. Yes.
Well, okay.
Yes.
That's one thing. But, wait, no, never mind. Because Braille is broken up into language based on region. Yeah, no. Still, I don't want to be blind. I like to see. I don't have to talk. In fact, some people like they think silence is mysterious and attractive. So I can go with that. I'll go mute.
I think silence. I think
right. So
no silence.
I'm on fire! You're gonna yell for help?
Kenyon, I think you in silence they'd classify you as a class 2 pedophile.
Oh, but next question, please. Next question.
If you saw Kenyon coming around the corner with your kid and he was like, oh, you just walk away.
Class 2?
Class
what
2.
The fuck?
I didn't know they went. Next question.
I don't think they do, but anyways, would you rather direct the greatest movie ever, but it's only shown once, or write the greatest novel ever, but it's published after your death?
Ooh. Yeah. Wait, you said direct a movie that's only seen once, or a book? No, I want that movie.
Want the movie?
I want the movie because now, if I create this, this Birds-like movie, this incredible visual phenomenon that grips the heart, and it's only shown once, it becomes legendary. The people who saw it, they talk about it forever. The people who don't are fucking sad.
Yeah, but legends never die, so, if I do kick the can and then my book finally gets published, I'm just going to live in infamy, like.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome to Sunset Soul. I'm your host, Love Dawn. How y'all doing today? I have with me Miss Lisha G, my co-host. Hey. Miss Leslie Swirl. Hey. I have with me Mr. Paul Jackson. Hello. And my cousin Miss Kamisha Robinson.
Hey everybody.
AKA Kim, AKA Niche. Today, well, first of all, hopefully everybody had a good day today. Everybody had a good day?
Great day.
Y'all enjoyed that, all of that hot sun, them hot rays? Listen, I don't know. It's like walking from inside of a building and out the door. It's like two different worlds. Like it's insulting is what it is. It's like, it's no, you know how usually when you go through a, what do you call it? The double doors, it's kind of a medium. You know it's coming, so it's like, all right, let me get ready, because when I go to the next door, it's going to hit me. It's not even no medium. It's just what you doing? Like, it's like one of that. Like, as soon as you open the door to go out, it was that kind of hot today. But anyway, they said we're not supposed to keep complaining about the heat, because everybody was complaining when it was cold. So we need to be thankful.
Not me.
I don't do the cold, so I guess I should probably be thankful. I am thankful. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Benson? So last week, our topic on last week was social media and privacy. And listen, it's so crazy because after we had that topic, there was a video that was posted. I shared it on the Sunset Soul page with the young man that was. I said synonym page last week. Pseudonym. I said it right this time. Pseudonym. He had another Facebook page, and he was luring young girls, and the parents were with the guy. It was all a part of a setup so that they can catch their daughters doing crazy stuff. And I wish, why we can't get a show like that with some other cultures. I'll just say that. I would have loved to see some of these scenarios played out with different cultures, like how they would have responded. First of all, the video wouldn't have been that long. It would have been like a boo, like one of those long.
The police would have been out there,
right,
arresting somebody.
Officer down, officer. That's what you would have been hearing. I'm sorry, but it was really good. I mean, it's serious though. We joking, but it's a serious matter dealing with social media. So if y'all get a chance, y'all can go back and check that out. Shows are always there. But this week we are talking about the documentary. What the Health? Let me tell you about this movie.
Wait.
Go ahead.
My son keeps saying the name. Just,
What the Health?
What the Health?
I mean, what the health?
Mom, you watch What the Health?
What the health?
I'm like, you being slick.
We make it our own, But my brother, my best friend, he had said something to me about it some time ago. He already know that's not my. I don't. Soon as I hear about one of those type of documentaries, I shut down. It's not that I don't want to be educated. It's I don't want to see. And they try to make it as gruesome as possible so that you can get the full effect of what it is that you're eating. I get it, but like I hear you. You don't have to do that. You don't have to show me that. You just don't want it
to ruin your eating experience.
I want a choice, and I feel like when you show me stuff like that, you take away my choice.
No, it doesn't.
It's rude, is what it is.
It's not rude.
How is it not rude? When you showing me,
how do you want to know? But I want to know, but I don't want to know all of it.
No, I want to know all of it. I don't want to see all of it. Like Peter.
Some stuff you don't know until you see.
Some stuff maybe, but I'm saying every documentary that I come across, it doesn't give an option. It's kind of like, look at all of this. Look at what they're doing to the animals, and I can't take it. I've seen that.
I have not.
What's that?
The hot dog.
You don't want to see
the hot
it.
dog, the processed meat.
Oh yeah.
You've seen it? It is nasty.
I mean, I'm like you. I don't. Being in the profession I'm in, I really don't like. I really don't like seeing it either. Being in the profession I'm in, it takes away my choice. Being a competitor, man, it's certain things that I have to eat, and right now I can't balance the vegan thing, so I have to eat. For me personally, I would suggest that free range food. But from this documentary.
You don't know what the health. Like really, what the hell can we really eat? And that's the name of the show because it's
even plant-based stuff. If you're telling me on this documentary that the pollution is covering everything, the animals, this, that, and the third, is it not covering the grain and the different things that the animals are eating? Absolutely. So if I'm eating vegetables, who's to tell me that pollution hasn't set in with that? So it's vegan.
Well, I guess it's going to be a part 2 because I guess the focus for this one, it was primarily meat because I guess it's more of an immediate danger.
I mean, it has a lot to do with what our bodies are designed to process. And that's pretty much what it is. I mean, everything's tainted. There's poisons in everything. Everything.
You got water made by Coca-Cola, so what do you think?
I did not know that I got. I bought that the other day. Did y'all see me? When I put it up, I said somebody told me that I'm not supposed to say the brand was black-owned company. I thought I felt good.
Yeah, no.
Cause brother Mike, he was supposed to be here with us tonight. He told me just to do to help whatever you can do.
Oh, you was trying.
I was trying. I was like, oh hey, I'm down one for the cause. I was wrong. It wasn't, but I tried.
Wasn't so smart water.
It wasn't, but it was good though. But
it's really not.
I mean, you don't have a thing with that. I just drink water. Like I really don't. I don't know. I don't taste the differences. You do.
There's definitely a difference.
You taste it.
Absolutely.
I don't. Maybe I said you drink a lot of water because when I drink it, I'm thirsty.
I mean, with that, as far as drinking water, when I was a kid, we used to drink out the hose, the water hose.
Yep.
And I'm perfectly healthy. So I mean, like you say, different people's body is subject to different things and created for different things.
What's in that hose?
I mean,
we build antibodies. Like we build up stuff to fight off the things that. Yeah. But what we do is we shelter our children so much now they don't have anything to fight. So when they get sick, they sick.
Well, the movie. The movie was it was. I actually didn't think I was going to commit to the whole movie. When I saw it was about an hour and a half or so, I was like, I'm not at all going to sit here and watch this for an hour and a half. I get the point, So I didn't really know if it was going to be like repetitive. They were going to keep telling me why it was bad to eat meat, but it actually progressed into more of a conspiracy theory in regards to the larger companies and the government and all this other stuff. So pharmaceuticals. It went really. It was very detailed. So I will say, if you have some time, not if you have some time, make some time. This is a movie that I think we all should watch, and it doesn't mean you have to watch the movie and then go clean your refrigerator out. I'm not eating this ever again. And some people may. I was faced with a very huge decision after watching the movie. Some of y'all probably saw me put it on Facebook that my daughter had brought me. She had brought a slice of pizza. I'm sorry, she had brought a whole pizza, and she had brought it downstairs to me and was like, "Mom, do you want a slice of pizza?" And I don't know if everybody may not be as religious as I am, but I'm gonna say that this is the way that the devil worked, because I had made a decision when I was watching this movie. I had committed. I rededicated my. She'll walk up to the altar. I was like, I knew it. I went wrong, Lord, and I really was ready. And then she come downstairs, and my daughter don't offer food. Period. So I just knew that was a setup.
Oh wow!
So I said, "Now I'm making a decision here." Now then you start to rationalize. I just decided it's not going to hurt for me to at least take a bite. I would have probably ate 2 or 3 slices of pizzas, but if I take one, that's a start. I think that's why we don't never really truly stay the course with things, because we jump in so fast. These are the things that I'm saying to myself as I'm deciding on whether or not I'm gonna take this slice of pizza. So I said, you know what? Let me just get a bite. And I said, as long as it's just cheese, because then I felt like, well, we still undecided with the dairy thing. I mean, we know what it is, but it's not, again, any immediate danger. To me, meat is what I'm thinking I got to walk away from. So I'm like, well, if it's just cheese, I might be all right. Then she she gave me the box, and the box was like, boom. I mean, it was so heavy. I said, what is it? She said, it's extra cheese. Now, come on. Now you're saying cheese. I'm hearing extra coagulated cow pus.
Stop saying that.
That's what it is.
Not what milk
That's
is.
what I'm hearing. That's what I heard. But I still was going to do it until I pulled the pizza up. As soon as I pulled it up. And what I say it ruined it is because when you see cheese before and that cheese pull up like that, you get excited. I got excited. But instead, you ruined this moment. I'm seeing the cheese pulling, and it to me, it's just like dear life. Like, don't. Like, this is the trail. I said, you know what? I ain't gonna be able to do it. She could care less. I didn't take one bite.
Oh,
not one.
that is nice. I wasn't supposed to eat my rice and peas after he put that curry chicken gravy on top of it, but I
compromise. See, that's a compromise. I
tried though. I said, give me some rice and peas and cabbage. She said, no meat. I said, no meat. He was like, all right, got you. Put it back, smothered in curry chicken gravy. I was like, thank you.
It's not your fault. I told them, but it's a process. Mish, you are new vegan. How long now?
I started last July, but I don't count July as my first month because I started meal to meal. Mm-hmm. So every day I would try, okay, today I'll have a shake. At lunch, I'll try a salad. I'm not going to guarantee that I won't eat the chicken yet, but I started. It was a process. Mm-hmm. It was rough, especially, with people. You face a lot of opposition when it comes to it. Because, for example, like I was having a conversation with my mom, and her comments were, "You've been eating this your entire life. You're completely healthy. Why are you changing now?" But we deserve better. We deserve to treat our bodies better.
Right.
And I had to make a choice. I was overweight. I was 230 pounds according to my doctor. I was obese. And I'm 185.
Really?
Yeah, vegan.
Wow.
I mean, it definitely works.
Well, wait a minute. Time out. Because I don't want to lose no weight. So is there
Don't
a way
do that.
No, because no, really, I've worked all my life to put the little bit of weight on that I have. I was always a stick. So I've worked hard to gain a little bit of weight. I don't want to lose weight by converting to veganism. So is there still some carb, like I can keep my carbs?
Yeah, absolutely.
Total disclaimer, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm just a personal trainer, but I know many competitors that are vegan, and we have to be at a certain weight to compete.
Okay.
On multiple levels. So there are other things that you can eat as far as being vegan that would not take the weight off. I think that was her decision. She had to lose that weight.
Yeah,
so she had to eat certain things to do that. But no, you can definitely gain weight as a vegan.
Oh yeah, I gotta call you, Paul. Yeah, I forgot.
Okay, so here's the thing. For me, I mean, I do. Of course, I want to lose weight. That was the beginning of my decision to stop eating meat. Around was it September or so of last year? So I went from September to the end of March, which is her fault. Really.
It's don't blame that on me.
Her and the cruise boat that we went on.
Blame it on the boat
that we went on. But point is, I mean, I do want to. I will say that for me, during those months, I didn't eat properly because I didn't properly plan. And I guess that goes for vegan, because we had talked about that, as well as meat, because you're out there, and as much as I go, it's like, what do you eat? So you grab a bag of chips, or you grab, just whatever that is absolutely unhealthy, but that'll hold me over until I can actually get home to get something else. It's not meat, so I'm okay. But I wasn't eating, so I would get angry. Y'all remember last week we had a newbie vegan, Monty from Talk Lately, had a whole nasty attitude. You can see it on me. But you do, because your body is basically going through withdrawal. So you do have a whole lot of different emotional responses to things without eating meat. I know I was horrible. I didn't realize. I don't know if it was just coming out my pores. I don't know. And then you ride past Popeyes. That's a whole nother conversation. I feel there is so many factors that come along with that. But if you want to help with this decision, start by watching this movie, because I think that when we choose to do something just because we want to do something, it gives way for excuses, because I made a decision, versus you had to stick with it because of your health reasons. The doctor told you that. Somebody else might have had to stick with it because their body responded, or they got sick when they ate meat and so forth. This movie will help you, so as though now you understand it, you've seen it for yourself, you see what the effects is and what you're actually putting in your body. It'll give you, it'll normalize. I don't know, is that the word for it? It'll make it more. It'll make it really. That's right. It'll make it more in your face. Put it like that. So when we get back, we're going to continue this conversation about the show with the health, and kind of get into some questions
and shout all our
about it.
out.
Listen, y'all, can y'all do me a favor and share this for me so that your friends and family members can see this wonderful topic? It is really, it's really needed. And we'll be right back.
Hey.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop K. Check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9/11.
Coming to y'all soon.
Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. Artist Exchange Live.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show.
I'm just thankful this year I've dealt with some growing pains, and I've overcome some things, and I've also accomplished some things in the process. I've learned some things. I learned that everybody loves your work until they got to pay for it. That's what I learned. That's what I learned. I learned everybody loves what you do.
The pay?
I mean,
not always.
Listen, the Bible says money answereth all things.
Well,
okay, and there is a place. There is a place where finances is necessary. And when you got kids, and when you got a wife, and then you doing everything, and you top dog at what you do, especially when you weren't in the same place like with this radio show, you ain't in the same place you were a year ago. Should nobody be coming on the show and not donating to your show?
Can you say that on my show?
Should nobody come into your show?
Can you say that in the middle of the live?
Yeah. Make that a promo, please.
Should nobody come on this show without donating?
That is a nice commercial.
I don't care if it's $20.
Donate.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Swag beat, swag beat, swag beat. Shorty, I've been missing you.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. Artist Exchange Live. The Artist Exchange. Artist Exchange.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome to the Danash Harrison Show here on BeExposedRadio.com. That's where you can find us.
Basically, tell us about the job she had. Hey, what's up? It's the man you all know and love, E. Digger.
It's your girl herself and need some more rings.
This is Mr.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop King, check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9/11.
Coming to y'all soon.
Hello, everybody.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop King, check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9/11.
Coming to y'all soon.
Chopped it up a little bit prior to the show.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Whoa.
The moment my son saw a redwood tree
It's huge!
is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing.
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
Listen to Elizabeth Warren talking about Black lives and Black life.
Police are not occupying armies. This is America, not a war zone. I speak today with full knowledge that I have not personally experienced and can never truly understand the fear, the oppression, and the pain that confronts African Americans every day.
Don't you just want to kill yourself? I mean, not from what she was saying, but from the music that was playing in the background. I just want to, gosh, but every word she said was prolific, and it did not come from what is now becoming mainstream as white privilege. She has a sensibility about her, and the way she speaks about different things that has, from the first time I saw her, I can't remember what state she's in. I think she's in like North Carolina or something like that, somewhere I'm not going. That some kind of sensibility about her that makes me like her for president. But she's not running. We have this old guy that looks like he should be on the popcorn box. Then we have Martin O'Malley. Fine. We'll settle if we must. Hillary, who I like, but she just has to fight against all this controversy, and that's the hard part of it all. Then we have Huckabee. I could have swore he died, like in one of those books, like a fairy tale book. Trump. We're going to get to you in a moment. Meet with all these black folk in one room, and they just fell for it. Like, he must have been giving out $100 bills behind that.
Check out the Talk Lately show every Tuesday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin' Street? Girlin' Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We are back.
It is.
Listen, y'all.
That guy?
While on commercial break, you know, it was a little longer than usual. That was my fault. We are trying some vegan dishes so that we can give y'all some heads ups on things that you can actually eat for the ones who want to try vegan. But
I can like this and not be mad that
I went through a minute with that. My question on the table first, though: could y'all go full vegan? We already know you are vegan.
Absolutely.
Could you go full vegan? You said that's not something you think you could do.
I don't think that's something that I can do right now. For me, it's a process because I would first have to learn how to be a vegan in order for me to do what I do.
Right.
I'm at a certain weight, and my weight fluctuates according to what I'm doing, as far as competition, as far as training. So for me, I would have to be able to sustain a certain amount of weight, and I don't know how to do that yet. As far as being vegan, I really prefer pescatarian, but from what they're telling me,
pescatarian. I've been saying that all day.
What religion
She's been
is that?
laughing at me. It's not a religion. It's pescatarians who eat seafood.
Seafood, yeah.
I was there at a point.
Yeah, that's
Before
what I
was
did.
vegan.
I was on pescatarian. Could you do full vegan, Lava?
I think that's the route that I'm planning on taking.
vegetarian and then maybe vegan.
No,
Because I
see,
know there's a difference.
The meat, not eating meat is not my problem as far as going
Not eating
vegan.
meat, I can do.
It's
I
the
definitely could do
cheese.
that. The cheese and the eggs.
It's the
and
eggs.
Because heavy whipping cream goes in everything that I cook.
Wow, I do love. I know. Okay, I can't. Let's not talk about that. We got vegan in our face right now because you gonna try to get me to go back off track. Listen, what the health? When it first started off, the first thing that stood out to me was the diabetes epidemic, and the reason why that stood out is because the diabetes is now labeled an epidemic. I'm not quite sure when that started, but it's. I mean, we knew in our community
before
that it was right. Well, we knew that it was a large, but I didn't know that it was as bad as it was.
And it can be controlled. It's
It could.
definitely, it's something that can be controlled. And eating healthy is something that has to be, eating period has to be relearned. It doesn't matter what culture, we used to eating a certain amount of things. We were fed certain things. And it's hard to get away from that. Like she said, her mother said, well, you've been eating this particular type of food for years and you're perfectly healthy. Why change now?
And that's the thing. Is she perfectly healthy? That's the question. That's visibly healthy because she has no idea, nor I or you. You didn't figure there was an issue till you went to the doctor and the doctor told you whatever, as far as your weight loss.
I was borderline diabetic, and I wasn't going there. I refused to. So I had to make a choice.
And I'm still nervous. There are 350 million people living with diabetes today. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people, especially when, as you say, it can be controlled, but lack of knowledge. They said soon 1 in every 3 Americans will have diabetes. I think epidemic is probably not a large enough word.
But even if you check the statistics for reasons why people die, and just in Baltimore alone, heart disease, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, all of it. You know what I mean? Like you have to. For me, it was a choice. I was 22, I think, when they told me that I was borderline diabetic, and I was just like, oh, absolutely not. Like I wasn't willing to make that change.
Right. And the thing is, with when I went, when I had got a full physical, and that was a couple years ago, I need to go back. But when I did go, they assumed because of my weight that automatically I had high cholesterol. I was borderline. The same conversation we had before my results came back. When it came back, she was shocked. Like it was offensive to me because I'm trying to feel like.
But when it really, booyah.
It was like, wow. I mean, I really would have thought that you blah blah blah. I'm like, Miss, why? I mean, I get it, but understand it was because of my weight. You would assume, but at that time I was young. But you get older, things change. I'm not going to keep pushing the envelope. Lisa said she was a vegetarian for 3 years and she lost 51 pounds. So.
I need to be a vegetarian.
But that's the thing, well, we can go to commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get into more of the show and the misconceptions when it comes down to diabetes and exactly where it is we contract it from and what we should and should not eat. We'll be right back.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
And we have a full house tonight. My co-host Leslie, Swirl, and Miss Lisha G, y'all already know.
Hey.
Mr. Tony Bling, y'all already know. But I have with me Mr. Paul Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
And my brother, Mr. Kevin Little here.
Well, all right.
So I'm quite sure this is going to be a hot topic. I'm very excited about today's show. And I'm also excited because for the first time, the men outnumber the women.
That is true. Wow, I didn't even notice that.
Finally. Because that took some... This is the first time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was like, wait a minute, maybe I messed up. Finally, the men outnumber the women. And I really wanted that. More so for all of the shows for the month, but definitely for this show. And then we got our producer and our engineer, so we got a lot of testosterone in here today. We might gotta pull it up, but that's all right because we strong. We strong
with a C.
With a strong. Yes.
Strong.
I mean, how you pronounce it?
Strong.
There you go. So last week's topic was media, our fathers in mainstream media and their disappearing act, basically, or the minimizing of our fathers in mainstream media. And I'm not sure if we ever got the resolution was in order to really fix that, we need our own, support our own.
Pretty much.
That's basically how we sum that up. But this week we are talking about our fathers, continuing our conversation with our fathers, and the subject for these next 2 weeks topic is taking fathers. And this first part is called...
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
This is the reality
of
the world that we're living in. A lot of young people don't have the information that is necessary to have healthy lives. And a lot of the organizations that are geared toward...
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We're back. We're back. Before commercial break, we were talking about diabetes. Lisa had spoke about her losing weight when she was vegetarian for 3 years. She said, but it wasn't a choice. The acid reflux was her big issue, so she had to change some things. Rachel Nichols said, now I was a diabetic for about a year, but that was because of steroids. I had to take. Once I was off the medicines, my AC1s quickly dropped back down to normal level. So that's not necessarily because of what she ate. That was more so, induced because of medication. That's why I say when it comes down to, for me with diabetes, we misunderstand. We don't really have a full understanding about what it actually is, how we actually got it. Because first thing we think when we think diabetes is, oh, you ate a lot of sugar.
Right.
We actually call it sugar.
Yep.
Like, that's what we call it in African American. Oh, she got sugar.
Sugar diabetes.
She got sugar, like brown. Dr. Neil Bernard says lack of exercise and sugar is not connected to diabetes. Meat-based diets that build up fat is what causes insulin resistance, which prevents the natural sugars you eat from getting into your cells. So it's the meat clogging your cells, so that when you do eat the carbs or the natural sugars, fruit and stuff like that, it can't reach or get to the places that it need to get to because your cells are clogged. How is it when we got introduced to diabetes, it was all about sugar?
Lack of education.
Absolutely.
It's lack of education, and technology changes. So, to date, what they thought they knew back then, it's a lot different from what they know now because they can see a lot of different things. But they didn't have the technology back then to really understand what diabetes.
Even the doctors, like you said.
Yeah, so
that was actually a part of the movie. They were talking about how doctors don't get the touch-ups on as information evolves. They don't require the doctors to come back and learn.
Well, doctors are not nutritionists, and that's a whole nother topic. They aren't nutritionists, but they're quick to recommend a diet. They have no idea how that diet will impact you as an individual. And then there's a whole bunch of other theories behind diets and blood types and all of those other things. It's too much information for one person to have.
Definitely.
And it could be, to me, that's what I liked about the movie, because though he had several doctors that he spoke with, it was very simply put. They used medical terminology, but it was in conjunction with, little scan, and it broke it down completely. Like, even with the guy when he just, Dr. Bernard just made the comment about the fat that we eat from the meat not being able to reach the cells, then Dr. Garth Davis said that the carbohydrates isn't the culprit. We have storages in our body called glycogen, in which, of course, you hear, if you are dealing anything with diabetes, you hear that word 1,001. They actually got the little candies now when you go to the store?
Even with the glycogen, we as most people, I don't want to say the gym itself, but this particular gym has candy as you walk out the door. And my biggest argument, for them, is they don't even know why the candy's at the door. Like, they don't even know why they put it there. It's because during when you exert yourself, your glycogen level goes down. You take that sugar, it builds it back up. But yeah, it's
It says the purpose of the glycogen is to break down the carbs so that when we eat the carbs, we store it or we burn it. And that's the reason why carbs isn't the culprit, because we don't hold it in our body the way they make it seem like that's where the diabetes come from. We don't hold it for it to be the culprit. He said fat, on the other hand, in our bodies, it can't be disposed of. So that's what sits. And then the fat clogs, so then when you do have the sugar, like you said, the candy, it doesn't have anywhere to go, because it's clogged up. To me, that is simple. Like, that's not rocket science. That's not a whole lot of medical terminology. And you like, what are you talking about? The fact that you just called glycogen was a piece of candy. I'm quite sure if they would have said that to the patrons there, it would have been, oh, okay. I mean, because it's simple. But that's not how we hear it at the doctor's office. What? I said right. Right. And that's the problem for me. So in the movie, they started getting into, of course, the processed meat, which is the biggest part of that. This is what I didn't want to say, because I mean, it hurt. It hurts my heart, you know. 1 serving of processed meat per day increase your risk of getting diabetes by 51%. That's like, listen, I'm gonna say this again so that y'all can really hear the seriousness of what I just said. 1 serving of processed meat per day increase your risk of getting diabetes by 51%.
That means 1 serving from the package's point of serving, not
our serving.
Ours.
Right, like 1 serving size. Like, what is it, 3 bites? I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm quite sure we eat more than 1 serving.
Not even a quarter cup.
This is 1 per day. So, and processed meat, we always look at processed meat as deli hot meat. Dogs, deli meat. And
no, bacon is processed meat. I'm sorry, it is.
Huh?
Your bacon, your breakfast bacon is processed.
Who told you that?
Right,
because they processed it?
What you thought, they just sliced it and put it on your plate?
So listen, is it still considered processed meat if I cut the pig, like I grow the pig, cut the pig,
she growed the pig.
I mean, not grow it. I mean, it's on my land and my cattle, and I got a herdsman, and he do all the
That's what we call full range, or
is that considered?
I mean, that's a little bit different. And honestly, as a meat eater myself, that's the route I take. It's for me, that's the healthiest route, other than going into the store. I mean, I'm not that much older, but there was a time when you had butchers in your supermarkets.
Yeah.
Where did they go?
Real butchers.
Real butchers.
They in the back of the market. You know what I'm saying?
They're not real butchers, baby.
That's what they hiring for.
They're not real butchers, baby.
The application say butchers. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying. I'm saying that's what it say. It say butchers needed.
Half of the meat that they label in there isn't the cut that they label on in the grocery store.
Yeah. A lot of it's rib meat. A lot of your chicken breast has rib meat in it. A lot of it has pork. So I mean, it seems like to me that now they're just putting many different animals together and putting it in one meat and calling it beef or calling it chicken.
What did you just say the other day about the calamari?
Oh yeah, so I'm a calamari fan. I love calamari. Fried.
Oh yes.
Yes. And the guy next to me, reaching over, he's just eating them, and he's like, "Did you see the tentacles?" And we're like, "Yeah." Like someone else ate them. He said, "Oh, good, because they substitute calamari for tripe."
Oh,
So if you order calamari and you only have just the little rings, be careful, because it could be tripe. And if I don't know if y'all know what tripe is, tripe is pig intestine. Cow intestine.
Like it's the lining of the stomach.
Something like that.
Yes.
It's disgusting. Whatever it is.
Slam bacon.
It's slab
bacon processed.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
All bacon is processed.
All right, listen. This is what makes me sad. Like I feel like let's talk about that. Let's go back. The diabetes.
Oh no, you don't want to talk about diabetes.
I just feel like that's so wrong.
Even in the process of making sure we have free range chicken and
but still
it's still the same meat that our bodies aren't designed to process that we're trying to consume. So we can't deny the fact that we aren't designed to eat meat. We choose to, and from a biblical standpoint, the Bible says that all things are permissible, but not all things are expedient. So even though we can do it and we're capable of doing it, if we know it's not good for us, why do we continue to do it?
Well, okay, so they talked about that in the movie. They actually went through the whole thing about, the fang teeth, and we assume that we have fang teeth, and then they showed the animals that had the teeth and why they had the teeth and so forth, and that we did not have that, which we were not intended to
bite a cat.
Rip. He did try to bite a cat. I thought I was the only one saw that, but he was proving the point that it was not intended for him to bite this raw flesh, basically, or cooked flesh, whatever it is. It wasn't intended for us to rip the meat apart. Which, later on here, but what got me is that the animals that we eat plant-based.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's like, hello, you know, like it's
free range eats plant-based. The rest of them eat corn.
Yeah. But that's because they're forced, right?
Because cows, chickens, they're not supposed to eat corn. Corn is something that sticks in the intestines, which causes cancer for the animal. So if you eating cancerous meat, what do you think is going to happen to you?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Oh, Jonathan said he only eats meat. Jonathan, baby, did you watch the video? Did you watch it? He said he only eats chicken.
Right, that's why I turned the page, because I'm like, oh, he must didn't. He didn't get to that part. You gotta watch What the Hell, Sir. Listen, and because chicken was my go-to, I think chicken was everybody's go-to. Because as we evolved, everybody went to, you know, well, pork, the other white meat, and every year, then it's the Atkins diet, hence the no meats, and then the carbs is bad. Every couple years, it grows. Now, chicken. They first of all, they went through the beginning. The chickens, they also did antibiotics, and they got into the eggs, which I really didn't want to hear about, but I was forced. The chickens are injected with this salt water. Hormones nonetheless, and then this salt water base, and which I did not understand what that was for, but they say it's to keep it juicy. What was it?
Blows them up.
It blows them
up.
It blows them up.
And they charge more.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I mean, well, keep in mind, though, if you're charging by the pound and you just injected it with salt water to make it bigger. So you took what was probably originally 1 pound and doubled the size with salt water. Now you're charging me twice the price.
Yeah.
For the same piece of chicken.
And you're eating the egg that comes from the chicken.
We're not going to talk about eggs.
I love eggs. I just don't eat
She's not ready for
that.
So
they asked the doctor, so is chicken better?
No.
His response was, it's a question of whether you want to be shot or hung.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
But you know they're injecting seafood.
Well, the carcinogenics and for those that don't know what carcinogenics are, somebody explain. I just understand it as the things that create cancer.
Poison.
Carcinogens. Yeah, I looked that up. I did. Yeah, I have it on here. A substance capable of causing cancer in living tissues. They said they went to every fast food chain. In every chicken sample, there was carcinogens, but nothing was labeled. I'm going to say it again. They went to every fast food chain and checked every chicken sample, and each one of them had carcinogens, a substance capable of causing cancer in living tissues, but nothing was labeled. So that means, didn't you just go get some chicken nuggets the other night when I was on the phone with you?
I did not.
You did?
I did not.
I mean, I did go get a chicken cheesesteak.
No, you got the chicken littles.
Chicken cheese. What
no, you got chicken littles from Chick-fil-A yesterday
Chick-fil-A
morning.
saved. They saved.
Oh, yeah, the Holy Ghost cannot be used as an explanation for why we vote.
This is okay, but here's the thing to get me. You got the injecting of the chicken, you got the diabetes, you got all this stuff, the lack of information. Why is it, going back to the movie, every one of the websites that is supposed to be advocating and teaching and educating people on diabetes or cancer or so forth had the foods, those specific foods, like a list of menu options for them to still eat those same foods?
Why? Money.
It's a business.
It's a business. At the end of the day, it's a business. I mean, like you said about the breast cancer organization, you know, they put their labels on dairy and all kind of things. Me personally, I don't think we should drink milk. We're the only mammal. We are human beings. We're the only mammal that drinks milk from another animal.
Yeah.
Well,
and then you know what? And to be honest, if you saw
chickens don't drink cow milk.
But no, let's think about how bad it is. If you saw a woman breastfeeding somebody else's baby, you'd lose your mind.
We did it all the time, slavery time. Well, I'm just saying.
No, I'm talking about today. Even we would lose our mind if we saw somebody else, somebody breastfeeding somebody else's baby.
Exactly.
And this is the same human milk.
And I think about it this way: why would a government agency contradict another government agency? You know what I mean? Like, you got to think about it, and that's going to cause issues. So, and sanctions, and everybody's just, it's just it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? There's loopholes to everything.
How you just put that paper up? You just said the other one out. It's they said America is in the business of treating sick people, not preventing Americans from getting sick.
Exactly.
Well, Samuel Miles said that he has to admit that when he ate only fruit and vegetables and drank water for 21 days, he was stronger, slept better, had more energy, and his body digests things much better. And he was just doing a Daniel fast.
But see, he substituted that with healthier things, because like I said, my response was totally different. Listen up, y'all. We just now diving in. I want y'all to stay tuned. If you have anything to offer to the conversation, you already know we're reading your comments here on Facebook Live. You can also call in 410-702-5657. When we come back from commercial break, we're going to continue trying these different vegan options. We have some Moroccan stir fry, some citrus, cilantro, citrus, brown rice, and butternut, sweet potato and butternut squash. And we'll let you know when we get back how that tastes. Be right back.
Let you know right now.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin' Street? Girlin' Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This Fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop K, check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9/11.
Coming to y'all soon.
Hey, there's my son. You've been in your room all morning.
Hey, Dad.
Matt, what's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Oh, well, it's just sort of.
I have been playing my video games and electronic games for so many hours.
Uh-huh. Well, it sounds like it might be time for you to take a break, or...
Hello, Dad.
Susan?
I have been watching TV and text messaging all morning. Yay, electronics. Yay, yay, yay.
Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and take a little trip. Maybe see some trees, some green things.
What are these green things you speak of?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Get out to the forest and discover the wonders of nature with your family, just like Blue, Jewel, and the whole Rio flock.
Let the kids connect to their roots. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah! Woo-hoo!
Let's rock this jungle.
Yeah!
Fresh air.
What a glorious morning.
Clean water.
Woohoo! This is great.
And endless surprises.
Yo, this is untapped territory.
How amazing.
Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a left.
You are not going to.
Then what you're going to do is turn onto Marcy Avenue.
Just broke up,
and go past the first 3 lights, and then take the next left.
I don't really
then
think
drive 5 more blocks, and you should be there.
Who am I to judge, right?
Park on the right.
That's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We're back. Before commercial break, we were talking about the nasty carcinogens and so forth that was in obviously every fast food chain's chicken sample. That's sad. But beef and chicken, we were talking about the fact that they carry the same amount of cholesterol. Mr. Benton, before the commercial break, has said he just eats chicken. But beef and chicken carry the same amount of cholesterol. Where did this lie come from that chicken was so much more healthier than beef? When did that come about?
Chicken.
What did, ooh!
Did
Swirl said chicken is white. Did y'all hear that?
That's what they think.
It's a
because
conspiracy.
I thought they had some dark meat in there too.
Oh, that's right. Got that good red meat.
I like the dark meat better.
Oh, see, I can't play with Leslie. I can't play with Leslie.
I'm not.
But you never know what's coming out.
Did you look up the law?
Oh, I thought this was you. No. While we're talking about the laws, how many of y'all heard of the
libel law?
Yeah, the libel law, which is, what is it?
Oh, Warren said he believes it is a law that's put in place where if the diabetes organizations mention anything about cancer-causing chickens, the chicken producers can sue the organization, and then the organization would have to put forth the effort to prove the statement.
So the death isn't that's not proof.
And the proof isn't the research that was done outside the United States. They would have to then go through the process of starting research all over again.
But the person gonna be dead.
How long does that take? Like 10 years?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. But the person gonna be dead, and they know that. So this is
what person though?
Whoever the one that died that said that you know.
You said the chicken producers.
The chicken producers can sue the organization if the diabetes organization says that chicken causes cancer. Now, that's two totally different organizations though, as I'm reading it, because the Cancer Society and the diabetes organizations for diabetes are two totally separate ones. But I do kind of understand what it is that Warren's saying.
So, I mean, I just need a clarification. Are we talking about the producers of chicken or the companies that own the farmers? Because you have the companies,
produce their own chickens.
They don't even put in the work. What they do is they sell off land, or they don't even sell it. They loan it.
Mm-hmm.
They loan it to farmers to farm their chickens or whatever animals. And if they don't go by a certain criteria, that company, I'm not going to say it, can take the land and sue. Yeah, they can take the land and sue the farmer. So I'm not like I have to, you know, is it the farmers that can sue or the company itself?
Probably the company itself. The farmers
still poor.
Aren't really considered. All they want to do is get the money that they get from the Tysons that are producing and whatever. So technically, I can believe Tyson has their own farm though.
So there's the other one that starts with a P, but I don't
know. LeVar said no, he loves Royal Farms chicken.
Oh, you go ahead and keep eating it.
Keep
on.
I know.
That's a heart attack waiting to happen.
Get the potato wedges because they fry in the chicken grease. So I'm just letting.
It's
canola oil. It's good, right? Coconut oil.
I don't think so. Coconut. I don't think they would use I don't think they would use a nut oil.
It's trans fat free though.
The Common Sense Consumption Act. Everybody heard of that? 2009. Common Sense Consumption. It's an actual. It's called the Cheeseburger Bill. Y'all, I'm really serious.
Go ahead.
The American Personal Responsibility in Food Consumption Act, also known as the Cheeseburger Bill, sought to protect producers and retailers of food, such as McDonald's Corporation, from an increasing number of suits and class action suits by obese consumers. This is a real thing, and I had to skip to that because you had made mention of the other bill. There is an actual bill stating, the name of it is called the Common Sense Consumption Act, meaning you should have the common sense to know that this is killing you.
I agree.
Yeah. And I don't see anything wrong with that.
That's like the suing somebody over you ordering a coffee and you spilling and burning yourself.
They did sue, and I think they won.
And they did win. That's why they had to put.
But they didn't have
That's why
you didn't have the common sense to understand that you bought hot coffee.
Yeah, because this came out in 2009. That's probably around that time.
It's always assumed that people do their due diligence, but the reality of the situation is 7 times out of 10, most people don't do their research about what they're eating. They don't read the labels.
Right.
One day I just sat down and started reading the labels for what I was eating, and I just was like, I can't do this.
And you probably couldn't even pronounce half.
And that's the thing. It's right there. It almost, when you watch this stuff, my question was, how crazy are we? Because they can't not tell us. but they can say it in a way that's also in here somewhere in there where they said they are in the business of confusion. They literally sit around a table and figure out how to confuse you enough that because first of all, what's going to happen? You can go back to what you know. When you're confused, well, I'm like you just said. Your mother said you've been eating this all your life and you're fine. Why do the research and I'm wrong and then have to eat meatless? And I can't even say for sure if this is a healthy way to go. That's why when I told you I went all this time without eating meat, I wasn't secure. I wasn't feeling like I was doing anything to help me. I didn't see the results besides me having an attitude.
Well, I will say this. You have complained much more since you started eating meat about not feeling well and being tired than you did when you weren't eating meat.
I know. But I think that has something to do with my work schedule a little bit too, though.
I mean, with the meat eating,
she just did a lot.
People who do eat meat, I would suggest that their serving size is lower and then their veggie size is high. You know, increase. I mean, there has to be some type of go between. Like everybody's not going to be able to just stop.
Cold
turkey. Well, if they came over here before we go to commercial break, they could have had some of this Moroccan vegetables. That's really, really good.
That was
I'm telling
delicious.
You. And
was that? Did you make that with vegan butter?
Listen, everything that we're eating is vegan. I searched for it. I call me. I got vegan butter. It's organic sugar, brown rice, organic. Yeah. The sugar is organic. I don't know about the raisins. The raisins is regular raisins. But I actually looked up everything down to that. I was trying to find the hot sauce because I was going to do the cauliflower buffalo wings. But
shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Well,
I got the cauliflower.
Toya Dorsey, who she kind of has. She has a page now, vegan page. She makes a lot of stuff from scratch. Like
what's her name?
Her own almond milk and all that good stuff.
Oh
Toya,
yeah, I can't. Okay, when we come back, we're going to get into the dairy. Since she said that, it just made me nauseous. Sorry. When we come back, we're going to get into the dairy. Stay tuned. If you have something to give to the conversation, call us 410-702-5657 or leave your comments in the Facebook inbox here. We're looking at you, reading your comments. We'll be right back, and we about to go stuff our face again. Come on up if you're in the area.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show. So since we're talking about the book, can you give people a synopsis of what the book is and what's the name of the book again, and then what it's about?
The name of the book is From Trial to Afflictions. More than one, because there were more than one afflictions.
Yes.
The book is talking about, actually, it's my life story. And I have to add in there that when that prophet told me, he said, tell your story, write the story. He said, and God said, tell your addiction. Now, see, I'm not going to tell the addiction because you have to get the book to read it. But it was about deliverance. It was about all the, trials and tribulations we go through. People that come into our life, even people that come to try and break you down or draw you down so that you can't stand for God or worship Him through your situation, because that's the adversary using them. We have to know that. But through it all, I was still praying and fasting. I needed help from God. I really did. I needed help from God to see me through. And for anyone that's going through, I say that this book is about different afflictions.
Yes.
Going through them, how you get through them. And I had a sister pushing.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Listen, we back. We are trying these kale.
Oh my God.
Let me try.
Kale nut chips. They're kale, crunchy kale chips. One is nacho, vegan cheese without the nuts. The other one is ranch with cashew cheese.
I'm a textural person, and I can't.
I am not vouching for these myself. I can only vouch for the meal that was prepared in the bag. But we're trying to give you some other options here. This might not.
The nacho is a lot better.
Might not be the best option.
No.
Before the commercial break, we were gonna start talking about the dairy, and I'm saying the number one source of saturated fat, which is not good for you, is dairy. Did you try me? You don't like it either?
Oh no, it's cool.
You do like it? You're not happy.
It's alright.
Food is supposed to make you happy.
It's okay. It's okay.
And that's the true vegan. It's just, she's not happy. I'm going to be upset.
It's crazy because that is a true statement. And if you go to any college that has any type of health program, one of the first things they tell you is go look up. It's government. It's on the government website, but it's My Plate. Mm-hmm. And what it does, it's called My Plate.
I did hear that.
And what it does, it has the different portions of food you should have on your plate, and then right in the corner is dairy. So if you have one organization saying that this is wrong, and then you have this organization over here say, oh yeah, go ahead and eat it, you don't know who to believe.
Right.
So, yeah.
But if you're reading it, so that's what we don't do. We don't research for ourselves. Right. There was a part of the movie that they had. I'm sorry.
We don't read. Period.
You're absolutely right. You just said, when did you start reading the back of the? Huh? When did you start reading the back of the package?
Well, since I was a kid, I would just read the back.
Now, when we did you read them, or did you just read it like we read cereal boxes? You know how like when you eat. No, I'm serious. You know how you eat cereal and you just read the cereal box because you just need something to do, or are you reading them for some like really?
Well,
being
when I was younger, I was
eating?
just reading to read. I didn't understand what I was reading. But the older I got, I was like, okay, I really just want. If I'm eating fries, all I want is potatoes, salt, and whatever oil you fried it in, and that's it.
Right.
It wasn't until I went to Europe that I saw stuff like that, and that's the crazy part. But it's only here that you see. I can't even pronounce a lot of the stuff. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But they do that on purpose.
Saturated fats, monounsaturated
all
fats.
them saturated, and then you got some fats that's good fats, and then some that's you can have this. Trans is not as bad as it used to be, and then one
now it is bad.
It's bad.
Trans fat is
now it is.
Trans fat was like the big craze. Everybody moved to trans fat. No,
trans fat is bad.
It's bad.
Ain't pork skins the trans fat?
Pork skins, Keisha.
That's processed and trans fat.
It's pork.
Well, what if they're made from home?
Cracklings,
fresh pork skins.
It's still pork skins, deep fried.
Listen to what I'm saying. Right on the bag, it says 0 trans fats, as if they're pushing this agenda like that's a good thing.
But then you have to be careful though with that, because then they'll take the same thing in a different form and call it something else and still put it in the product. So that's another thing.
Oh yeah, that's what happened with the sugars.
Fat-free stuff.
Yeah,
they really pushed a lot of. Oh, this is fat-free, fat-free,
organic.
Right.
And even with those, you got to get into what percentage is legal for them to be able to still. I had my principles of nutrition teacher. They had a whole group organization. You know how you have the couponers, the women that go around the coupon. They actually went around and found mistakes and called the people out and like sued. Like that was their hobby. Is they went around and said, well, you have this says 0.5% of sugar, and you're saying sugar free, and it's only legal for 0.3 to be in here for it to be labeled sugar free. I mean, that's what they did. To me, I can't. I'm not doing. That's not for me. But I thank them, and I wish they did it on a grander scale, so that I can hire them, because that's not something I don't want to do that. But we don't know what the legal amount can be in this product for them to label it organic or whatever, but we could. That's what I'm saying. It's not that it's not accessible. It's not that we can't Google this information. The man on What the Health sat at a computer and went to all these different sites and wrote it down. He didn't do anything spectacular that we couldn't do, but we just don't. We want instant gratification. Ain't that what we said last week? Meat do make you sluggish. There was a part in there that they were saying eating 1 egg a day is as bad as smoking 5 cigarettes.
Wow.
I have mixed emotions. I think a lot of this is scare tactics. But I eat in competition. I eat 8 eggs every morning. So I mean,
eggs though.
8 eggs, the whole egg?
No, I'll split them up, maybe 3 whole eggs and the rest egg whites. But I think a lot of that was filler. I think a lot of that is filler. As far as now, I don't know personally. Like I haven't really looked it up myself, but that's kind of, to me, that's kind of, that's a little much. Eating one egg is similar to smoking 5 cigarettes.
I guess. Well, that's what they said on What the Health. I'm just saying what they say. I mean, but based on what. Okay, based on, you know, whatever is.
I hate when you do that.
Why? Because you put me. You telling me something. Based on whatever is, you know, the yolk, which is the worst part of the egg, is what they were saying. They did say in the movie that if you're going to eat more than one egg, you eat the egg whites. Don't eat more than one egg yolk, because that's where the saturated fat or the different cholesterol where it lies. Yeah.
But if you ask another professional, they might tell you something different. See what I'm saying? It's like remember those the commercials back in the day, 9 out of 10 recommends. Same thing here. You know, you can get I can easily get 10 personal trainers to tell you that this workout is great. But I can also give you another that's obsolete. That don't even work anymore.
Yeah. Right. You know that's it up. Then it's when did you get your information? This was in 2008. Well, it was in 2009. You could call in if you have if you want to give some information that you know. I know you was talking about the somatic cells. Miss Toya 410-702-5657. Ray, yeah, she said she eat a lot of eggs. She eat boiled eggs for a protein shake. I can say that they said the yolk was the worst part. They said if you're going to eat the eggs, stick with the whites. Said the yolk is designed to grow a baby chicken for 21 days with no outside energy. When we eat it, it coats our red blood cells, our blood gets thicker, and it changes our hormone levels. It raises our cholesterol levels. It's simply unhealthy.
Well, at the end of the day, it's still coming from this animal. It is still carrying the same stuff. So regardless of whether or not we eat granted, the yolk carries more saturated, but if we eat you might as well just eat the whole thing. So
you don't think that? Well, I mean, they saying the egg is supposed to, you know, it's designed it has all of whatever the chicken needs, so it would be more than the.
But do you want a little bit of poison or a lot of bit of poison?
If I have to choose, that's the thing. I want a little bit because.
But see, that's the thing. Why not just opt out? If you're gonna opt out, just opt out. Okay,
because
this is okay. A little bit better.
Eggs. Who don't want eggs?
I don't want eggs without a yolk.
We have only had one half of the show, and so far I can't eat chicken. I can't eat eggs. I can't eat. Look, we didn't even get to the cheese and stuff yet.
I'll treat you to a breakfast sandwich from Grub Factory to make you feel better.
Is it going to have cheese, eggs?
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. All you have to do is just eat it.
William Scott said he eats eggs every day. And so this is the thing. You can eat these things and you will probably be fine for quite some time. This is about the end game.
Yes.
This is about the long haul. And this isn't encouraging you to not ever eat an egg, because I watched What the Health on what day? 4 days ago roughly. I bought egg salad 2 days ago.
I made deviled eggs.
So I'm not going to tell you that I'm not going to eat my eggs. I didn't eat the egg salad because it was sweet and I didn't like that, but I would have.
Now, I'm not saying take everything that's in the documentary as law. You know, do your due diligence, do your research, do what works for your body. Right. I can't eat certain things because I have allergies, but who's to say that, you know, I'm not supposed to have wheat? He can have wheat, you can have wheat. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying just go cold turkey because it's impossible. You still have to eat.
Yeah.
Well, my plan is to increase the amount of fruits, vegetables, plant-based foods, and kind of wean out the meat. I haven't eaten a piece of meat in 2 days. I'm hungry.
Oh my goodness, I was so hungry.
And it could be in my head. But
your stomach is shrinking.
Yes,
which is great. And the thing with me is I'm getting more hungry now which I'm supposed to in the morning. And
most important meal of the day. That's what
I know, but I never eat breakfast. But when I don't eat meat, by the time I get up, I'm really.
But how am I gonna have breakfast without my eggs
and bacon?
No, I can go out to bacon, but eggs is like the substance of breakfast.
Is it?
You know what my breakfast consists of?
What?
Oh Lord.
Plant-based protein shake.
I'm not doing it.
No,
I do
it's
the
actually
same thing. Yeah, I have the same thing in the morning.
No, it's actually pretty good. I mean, I sell supplements as well, but a half a cup of oatmeal, no sugar, and I put blueberries in it to give it flavor.
So, so I heard
and some peanut butter.
Oh, peanut butter is delicious.
I do that.
I heard that we're supposed to eat like a king for breakfast, a prince for lunch, and a pauper for dinner.
See, how many people in our communities know what a pauper is? And as soon as you said that, they would have been discouraged, and that's all right.
We're supposed to have a really big breakfast, a small lunch, and small
What is
dinner.
a pauper?
No.
The proper way to eat, actually, to boost metabolism, is to eat at least 4 to 5, maybe 6 meals a day.
Whole meals or
meals consist of, like I tell people, stop putting meals on plates. Plates are big plates are designed to put. You don't think your plate is full until it's full.
That's true.
Yeah,
so
that's
now
true.
I tell people, this is my advice. The one step down is the saucer plate.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That should be your portion. Me personally,
Yes.
I personally measure my food out. But if you're not one to measure your food, put it on a smaller plate. Therefore, you eating smaller portions. But do that throughout your day, which boosts metabolism.
But then what do you do with people like me who now start building up?
What do you mean? What do you mean? You just pile up higher.
And you know what I
pile up with some spinach.
I used to use the saucer plate because I wanted to try to lose weight, so I used the saucer plate
shrinks.
Instead of the thing, and I did it for instead of the real big plate. So I did it for about a week, and I noticed I wasn't even starting to finish it. So that's when my youngest son was the littlest, so I started feeding both of us off the saucer plate.
Oh, wow.
So it goes smaller and smaller and smaller.
Because your stomach shrinks.
Yeah.
Do your I wanted to ask, does your stomach shrink? Like, how long does that take? Is it really shrinking, or you just
try going to eat without 2 days? Like me personally, I grew up in a church, so it was a lot of fasting going on, and even as a child, Kojic. Well, you gonna fast too, little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Person in this house.
It doesn't.
Everybody in this
Yeah, definitely. You're gonna wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You gonna spring hallelujah just like me during fast. But I'm just playing. She didn't make me do
prayer
that.
make you hungry?
It does, because there's a lot of energy in that, especially when you coach it. But but you can go without eating all day or 2 days, and you will see once you start to eat, you like, oh no, I can't eat all this.
That's how you be when you're really hungry. Like, you think you want a whole bunch, and so you start eating, and then you aren't able to do that. Okay, well, we got 1 minute. When we come back, we didn't get into the pork much. Well, we kind of bypassed. When we started talking about the dairy, we haven't dived into the coagulated cow pus either. So when we come back, that's what it is.
No, it's not.
Y'all stay tuned. We're still reading your comments. Rachel, I see your comment. We're going to get to it when we come back. Stay tuned. We're going to continue trying these dishes and let y'all know what to say. So far, it's not looking good for these kale chips.
Not at all.
The nacho ones is actually pretty good.
The nacho ones is okay?
But whatever that is over there.
This the ranch.
That's what I had.
Don't do ranch.
Don't do ranch.
But you can do the nacho.
I can do the nacho.
It gave it some flavor. All right, kale chips, nacho. Y'all can do that. We'll be right back.
Look at this neck bone.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Students, when you hear the reason or reasons for your absences throughout the years, please exit the auditorium without your high school diploma. Once you've exited, remove your cap and gown and proceed into the unknown. Too tired. Family trip. Part-time job. Helping around the house. Sick day. Starting the holidays early. Just because.
Starting in the 6th grade, students who miss 18 days or more of school in a year for any reason will fall behind and risk not graduating high school. How many days of school has your child missed this year? Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
What's up, good people? It's the man you all know and love, E. Digger. Make sure you check us out every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Couple minutes left in the segment. Sure. Change is good. Yes. Knowing when to make that change in your life. And I think it's important that you know a strategy. You know where you need to go. But change is good. Everything don't stay the same.
Right.
And if you're a person, especially for old people, that can't accept change, then it's kind of hard. Right. I was going to a church. I'm gonna make this real brief. I was going to a church that could not, some older members. I attended the second oldest black Presbyterian church in the country. That's one. And why are you laughing? Yeah, it's bad that you even knew that. And that's the soundbite. Yeah. So
thank you, Eric.
we would play certain music, and we implemented a lot of equipment or instruments like drums and piano, and the style of singing changed. And two people out of the congregation, after the service, they would go up to the pastor, sit down, and say, "Hey, sit down. Let me talk to you." And they will critique each song in the service every week, and it was change. It was evolution. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
And they could not begin.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We're back. We are here trying all these wonderful vegan snacks. Listen, y'all.
Wonderful is I don't know wonderful.
Y'all know me. If you watching Sunset Soul, y'all know me. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't see me. I don't know why I'm not live right now, but y'all can hear me. Don't do the kale chips. Listen to me. Don't do those kale chips. It is not of God. It is not right.
The nacho ones weren't bad, though.
Listen. Huh?
The nacho ones are good.
I
like
didn't
those.
taste the nacho ones, but that other thing.
Misha is a veteran in the vegan life.
She gonna co-sign.
So her palate is now developed to say it ain't that bad. I'm talking about for y'all newcomers. Don't do it. You gotta crawl before you walk.
Put some salt and pepper on.
This is what you do. Listen to me now. Now we're gonna have to take a quick 30 seconds. I'm about to train you. I'm about to learn you something based on my Get you some broccoli or kale. Rinse them, dry them, put some olive oil on them, some sea salt on them, and put them in the oven yourself. And dry them out that way. And eat it that way. The kale flavor by itself with salt is much better than that. So I wouldn't do that. Alright, now. That was my slight recipe.
How about I just take some kale and I put it on the stove and I
saute
it down? No, I can do it without the neck bones.
Wait a minute, phone call. We had a phone call. Okay. I'm not sure who called. I believe it was Toya. Can you call us back? When you called on the commercial break, we can't get through. If you call us 410-702-5657 while we are on air. Fish. They did. Now I will say this: when they talked about fish and what the health, it wasn't as bad. It made me feel a little bit better about life. You know, it was kind of like a breath of fresh air, and that's not a lot. I mean, because the fish was bad too, but it wasn't as bad as the other meats. We got a caller.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Pretty good.
So, I was just wanting to bring it back to the cow punch that you were talking about, because that's kind of where it all started for me. When you start to really understand the quantities of things that are allowed in your food that the government knows about, then you start to kind of delve and explore a little more. So when you think about cow pus, you have to wonder, where does the pus come from? It comes from damaged tissue where there's some sort of infection, and anybody who's ever breastfed knows that that comes from being overutilized, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So there's some sort of infection, and somebody's trying to keep that down. So you have infection, you have antibiotics involved, and then you have this allowed amount, which they know you're drinking, they're perfectly fine with it, and no one knows about it. There's about, I think, 1.2 million somatic cells per milliliter, I believe. Don't quote me on that number, but so that was pretty alarming to me. And then once you start digging into that, it just kind of gross.
You said the 1.2. Is that where they said the 750 pus cells? Is that the somatic?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah. It said there's a certain amount of cow pus allowed in our milk. 750,000 pus cells per cc.
Definitely, it's a lot of stuff.
Per cc.
Per cc.
They are okay when you drink.
Right. And you know what got me, Miss Toya, when with the situation with the pus on the cow, there was another video that is out, and they'll cut the abscess,
I saw
the
that.
pus, but the cow was now dead. They never do any type of biopsy. They don't know what culture's right. They don't know what caused this infection.
Right.
They just grind them
Exactly.
up.
And also,
they're not going into detail as
you
to
have
what
to understand too.
is
A lot of
causing
these cows
it.
die before. A lot of these cows die before it's even they're not slaughtered. They're actually dying of diseases.
Right.
And they still chop the meat up and send it to your local grocery store.
Yep. And it is our guys' burger joint sandwich that we eat. I'm sorry. It is delicious. Miss Sawyer, did you have anything else you want to offer?
Oh, you guys are breaking up a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said, did you have anything else you wanted to offer? Can you hear me?
Oh, I like to hang out.
No. No, I was saying,
joy to hang out.
Listen, I would love for you to come on the show if you would like to come hang out, and if you would like to come taste some of this vegan meal, if you're in there, come on up.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But no, I was asking, did you have anything else you wanted to offer?
Oh no, that was it. That was it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Toya.
much for calling in.
I'm really mad about this whole cow pus thing.
Oh my Lord,
that's nasty.
The delicious cheese. Thank you for calling in.
What is cheese anyway? Like, it's a mold.
Cheese. What is cheese? Cheese is outside of being coagulated. It's what?
Wait, time out. Wait. Do you eat cheese?
Not really.
Yes.
We're not going to have an attack on everything I love right now.
It's highly processed dairy product with loads of salt is what it is.
You eat pizza though? Okay.
I used to eat cheese.
That's everybody builder's
I eat
go-to. Yeah.
But we were talking about fish. They were saying there are 4 worries of fish, and one was PCB, which is a toxin that the fish carry. One was saturated fat. We spoke on that. Mercury and cholesterol. Cholesterol in a can of tuna and water is less than a glass of milk. But the cholesterol in salmon and tilapia is more than a pork chop.
And those are the go-to things.
Yeah, everybody goes to salmon.
Salmon or tilapia. Actually, one of my favorite restaurants, I can't name drop, is really local, and they got a fruit in the name, in the state. All they have is, when it comes to fish, is salmon and tilapia. Those are the only 2 fish options, and it's because that's all we eat.
My personal go-to fish is whiting, which comes straight out of the bay, and it's blackened. What is it? It's a couple places I go to, but it's a blackened fish, but it's a sea bass. Blackened sea bass, something like that.
No, that's not something I haven't had sea bass before. Do you? But you don't do fish either.
I used to be a grouper girl, a grouper and a snapper girl.
So you can't eat that at all with the.
I don't.
So that's pesticide.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to
don't.
get into that.
I mean, the mercury, all the stuff in the water, it's just too.
So is that connected with the crabs? I just want to know.
Yes.
Hey,
catfish, crabs, anything. That's
Stop. Wait.
Anything
What you just
in
say?
the crabs.
Is it mercury?
Snow crab leg.
Crabs.
Yes.
It's at the bottom. They're
There's
bottom
definitely
feeders.
Listen, let me tell y'all before we go to commercial. I had I was waiting for my crabs. Yeah, day before yesterday. Yeah, okay, we got 1 minute. And I was trying to figure out because we always talk about the mustard. Let me just see why I'm sitting here with the mustard. So I always told my kids it was poop.
The mustard.
That's what I thought. The mustard.
I believe.
No, the orange part is the eggs.
Oh, it's the egg.
The mustard is basically, I call it now, the liquid liver, because it filters the impurities from the crab. So when you eat the mustard, you're eating the impurities, the toxins.
I don't eat
I
that.
eat crab legs.
I don't eat the mustard, but I like to have it on my finger so that when I eat the meat, it's kind of like I don't eat it, but that residue.
I literally wipe my crab meat on the side of the inky newspaper to get that mustard off. I can't eat it.
I wipe the big part, and then I have this the little.
But you know,
water, and I should just rinse the whole thing because I didn't know what it was.
Are you serious?
You see people just developing allergies to crabs out of the blue. We reach a maximum amount of poison.
We got to go to commercial break. When we come back, we can continue this conversation and get into the dioxins and why that's so important, especially for women, pregnant women. So stay tuned. Give us a call when we come back. 410-702-5657. We'll be right back.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement.
Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know they're probably just a little bit nervous. You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education, brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Whoa.
The moment my son saw a redwood tree
It's huge!
is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We are back. We're in here trying some of the other vegan snacks that I brought. So this one I'm going to call, I'm not supposed to call the name. It's the original fruit and nut bar. You should know what that is. Look it up. The original fruit and nut bar.
It's gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, vegan, and kosher.
Everything free.
And
it's free from
good.
all the bad stuff. And it's actually really good.
The apple one's okay.
We have we got all kind of different flavors in here, so y'all can definitely go out and taste those. Hey Jasmine.
Can't do it.
You don't like it?
Not the cherry.
I mean, it's not a snippet.
No.
You don't like the cherry?
I don't like the cherry, but I like the apple a lot.
The cashew cookie was good. The apple was good. And what else I
Tastes
can
like
say? It's bitter.
Cherry tastes like a prune.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Well, yeah, dried. But prior to commercial break, we were talking about the fish. But we want to get into the dioxins, which is a general name for a large group of chemical compounds with similar structure and so forth and so forth. And it gets kind of complicated, but it is definitely, it's a chemical compound. It is a mix of carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, chlorine atoms. It's a whole lot of different things that is in seafood, fish specifically, and it can become toxic. Cows eat dioxin, we eat cows. That's how that goes. Men, listen up. Men can't get rid of dioxin.
Nope.
Women can only get rid of it through breast milk,
which means we give it straight to
or
the
the placenta.
Oh wow!
All impurities go to the baby. So, dioxin, compound, chemical compounds, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, chlorine, whole 9 yards, toxin. Men eat cows, same way we do. Cows eat dioxin, we eat cows. Men cannot get rid of it at all. It's what happens. I don't know. I mean, it's just inside of you. I mean, it's just inside of your body. I mean, I don't know exactly how. I don't know if it multiplies. I don't know what.
I don't know. Honestly,
you just get rid of it by being regular.
You can. Men, it doesn't. You don't.
It attaches itself
to something.
What do they do to your body?
It's a toxin. So I'm not sure exactly how. I mean, that's the part I guess we would have to research.
I mean, is it antibody buildup that could fight it off at some point? I'm not sure how that
I don't know.
works.
So that can be your job. Next commercial break, we'll bring you that answer back.
a part of the show talked about how people were healing themselves.
Yeah.
By eating the proper diet. So I'm assuming that, although we're saying that your body can't get rid of it.
No, but there's other stuff that you can do.
There's other things you can do that it won't
that'll
pass
build up
through
some
your
other
body, but we can do stuff to defend our bodies against it and kind of kill it.
Hopefully. But my main focus with this particular passage is that women can only get rid of it through breast milk and through okay, Toya said dioxins and their effects on humans. Okay, she gave us a link. We're going to look at that. Thank you, Toya. We're going to look at that during the commercial break. But women, you give this toxin that was going to your child, one way or the other. There's no getting around it. Because if it can't get out, and that's the only way for it to go, it's going there, hook, line, and sinker. You know, it's going to want to go. That's like gas. I'm going somewhere. Basically. I'm sorry.
I'm just going to call y'all and find out what I can eat, because I don't know.
We tasting all the things we can eat.
I can't live off of just
right
this.
now.
I think honestly, I think it's like you said, it's common sense, most of it, and I think if you can eliminate a lot, slow down your serving sizes. Because for me, I honestly don't believe that I'll ever stop eating meat. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not trying to direct anybody and going in a certain type of way. I mean, I can eat vegan, but
I definitely probably could.
But I think at the end of the day that we have to have some sense of where we are as far as our health goes. I think a lot of us, what we do, especially I always go back to in our demographic, we don't like to go to the doctor's office. We don't like to get checkups. We don't like to do any of that. So I think a lot of this should be based off of not just so much what your doctor say, but the results that come back.
Right. Yeah. But then but because we're not going until there's a problem.
Exactly.
That it's either too far gone, or we have the result of what it is that we're.
Because in my profession, we see a lot of people who come in and they already have issues, but honestly, we are in position to prevent things from happening before it happens.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to education.
Right. During the part of the movie, there was when they got into the hogs and so forth. What was it, Dublin, North Carolina?
That made me sad.
Dublin. That really made me, wasn't it? So they mainly in low income communities.
Of course.
You have you have these plants and these hog plants and stuff like that, and they would basically have dead hogs or whatever laying around, and they would be like they said that from the heat they would swell from the heat, flies, everything. They would see this right in their backyard, and they would see the same workers come and just pick them up, grind up the hogs and feed them to the other hogs.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they weren't selling them, you know, but they were feeding them to the hogs. So one way or the other, we're getting it. You know, and it's sad. And what got me is outside of that went into the whole thing about the fecal matter. And he was saying that the hogs inside the pen, they all kind of, you know,
they're filthy animals.
Right, they're filthy. They all, you know, stuffed up in there, and they would use the bathroom, and well, not use the bathroom. It would just go straight down in the slats. Then it would go from the slats into the whatever the pit that was there, and it would leak into the rivers and the waters. Because there was no filter. It's unfiltered water that is getting leakage from the waste pits.
And you're drinking.
And they are forced to drink this.
Literally.
And the hogs are forced to drink this unfiltered water, and we are still eating the hogs.
No.
So wait.
No.
So isn't that the same thing that created the mad cow disease?
I don't know.
So I think mad cow is something. It's something a little different, but I would have to assume that that's part of it. I think a lot of that goes into that mad cow disease actually goes into the neural aspect of your body, like it's neurological. Because there is a disease. I can't pronounce it right, but I have family members. It's supposed to be hereditary. I don't believe in hereditary. I think that we control our destiny, but it's called the Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease, and it's kind of similar to that whole mad cow thing, and it affects the neural, which the brain is the first thing to go. You know what I mean? I've seen my uncle, my father, my cousins. I have a cousin now that's dying from it, but it definitely attacks the neural system, and I don't want to keep on, keep on beating a dead horse, but educate.
But who's to say that all of these, because there has been a massive increase in diagnoses for dementia and Alzheimer's, where realistically it's not diagnosed from anything other than symptoms. Who's to say that this isn't a result of ongoing consumption of cow?
That was the guy who they say blew the whistle on the mad cow disease was the one that made that that was saying that.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be.
It has something to definitely do with that.
Because they will never. They will. What are you going to say?
No, I'll wait for you to finish.
No, go ahead.
The thing about it for me is that everything they're not hiding this information.
Right.
It's all in plain sight.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So it's more so whether you want to access that information versus you just don't want to know. A lot of people really just don't want to know.
Right.
They don't.
I know I didn't when it came down to the bacon. I think this is what I'm saying by saying things. Well, I'm telling you the truth. But again, you could have told me all of this, and I probably would have been like, well, if this is my rationale, don't judge me. I'm gonna burn it off when I cook it. That's not true?
No.
The hot
It's
oil.
not water.
She said the hot
So what
oil
you're saying
gonna
is
burn
the grease
cake.
don't burn off the bad stuff?
I don't think so.
Well, for years, this is what I thought. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's just like saying.
So
But that is what
nobody
they tell us.
ever told you if you drop it on the floor, throw it back in the hot grease real fast for a few seconds. Nobody ever said that.
There is a big difference, Keisha. There is a big difference.
I'm telling you what I said to myself. Still eat the bacon. But when you attach that to the emotional ties with my heart, when I see the lady talking about she got asthma and she got this and she got that because she lived next to this, these are the things that I'm saying. I'm like, now I watch this movie and now these things hold me accountable. I have no choice. Like, I can't eat this bacon. That lady miserable.
We participate in these things when we purchase the bacon and the ham, and like we're participating in that.
Yeah.
You have to go through that to make sure I get my bacon on. I don't care as long as I get my bacon on.
Yeah.
It's not.
You hit the nail on the head though. It's a lot of what we eat is psychological, and it deals with, you said you get emotional, it's feelings, and a lot of that has to do with what we eat and how we eat and how much we eat. It's definitely psychological. It's
And let me tell you something.
Emotional.
As as African Americans, Leslie by default, because she married an African man,
right.
we keep talking about our culture of, you know, we eat the ham hocks and the ox tail, well, not the ox tail, but pig feet and all this stuff, because that's our culture, because that's what we call. We gotta go beyond that. We gotta go past that. Why do we confine ourselves to eat the less of things because that's what we had to do? Go back to what they eat in the Caribbeans and Africa. They don't eat like this,
and they really advocate for plant-based
in Africa. They don't eat like this.
No.
So if we really want to get to our roots, we might want to change.
Well, that's why I just made the sweet potato, because ain't that like an African thing, sweet potatoes?
That was good. They were good.
I really was like, you know what? Let me get into the Maccabee had said that. He's really good too. Maccabee, the one we be sharing
that was the squash, right? The
butternut squash but the butternut squash don't hold its form like the sweet potatoes.
So sweet potatoes in it?
It's mixed.
Yes. Okay, I didn't know.
Yes. The sweet potato is whole. If there was chunks of sweet potatoes, the butternut squash is basically now liquid.
My in-laws will. They're African. They will drive all the way to Silver Springs to go to the butcher, the African guy that sells their stuff.
But we have to start doing it. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't go to the farmer's market because I didn't trust it.
Yeah, man, that was my thing.
I really felt like this is a setup. You know, they putting this in our communities just to target us and poison us. So I didn't go to the farmer's market. But we got to stop looking at everything like a conspiracy.
Well, this whole thing is a conspiracy because
we got to stop looking at everything as a conspiracy, and we have to start doing the best that we can do in our own little circle of what we consider this world. I can't control what they put in the food, but I can control which food we consume.
Right, what we eat.
Half our children won't eat vegetables.
This is the thing, but because we run out of time.
Because we don't make them.
Is it really choice? Because when we were talking about the dairy, they were talking about the casein, which is the protein that's in the dairy, and how addictive it is.
I thought you said queso.
No, casein. The main product in dairy products is casein. First, it is digested. We eat it. Then it breaks into little pieces called casomorphines. Casein derived, but with morphine-like qualities. It travels to a certain part of your brain and connects with the same receptors heroin would attach itself to. So it's not as strong, but it's of the same quality, enough to keep you coming back. Is it really choice when you're eating a product that is intended to get you addicted?
Casein is protein. That's where I got me, because I drink casein, plant-based protein every night before I go to sleep, because what casein does is it basically helps a protein process over a period of time. Whey protein, what that does is when you drink whey protein within, minutes or, it's your body's already taking, your cells are taking it in. Casein, which is just because your body really we're supposed to eat every 3 to 4 hours. And what casein protein does is just while you sleep, it keeps your body basically feeling full until you wake up in the morning. So that's one, like, for me, that was a shot in my foot.
Because but what they're not saying if it's right or wrong, healthy or not. They're saying it's addictive.
Yeah.
So the casein that you're talking about breaks, once you digest it, breaks down into casomorphines, meaning that this is it, the way it travels and the receptors that it reach in your brain. So they didn't say it was unhealthy. I mean, this particular part isn't saying that it's unhealthy and you should not eat it. They're saying that it's addictive for you to, right?
A lot
sugar,
a lot of stuff, right?
So that's up to you. But because dairy as a whole is being pushed in this movie as not healthy for you to eat, they're explaining why it's so hard for us to walk away because of what happens with the casein. So maybe if you is the protein in it the what is the bad part of the dairy? Did they speak on that or not? If the casein is the part of the dairy that is,
Honestly, I don't even remember.
So, and this is what I'm saying. Like, when it comes down to this, I watched this show and I went and I answered some questions that I had for myself. But it should not be limited to what they say.
No.
Absolutely
Because the person who did this, is not a doctor. He spoke with several doctors, but several of the thousands and thousands and thousands of doctors out here that we do have. You know, you have to, like you say, do what's best for you. I am not going to commit to a plant-based diet today or tomorrow, but eventually maybe I will. You know, once I start to learn some other things, like calling Misha someone who has been a vegan to give me some advice on what I can and cannot eat. I enjoy eating with other people. Let's try this together like we just did. What I like, if I can substitute it for something, why not eat healthy if it tastes just as good? Now, okay, we'll be right back. When we come back, we're gonna get into some other healthy options before we get into what our next show will be next week. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin' Street? Girlin' Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I got drunk one night. This is the night that I put my head through the window and everything. So.
Why would you do that?
Now, I was sitting on the floor.
All these stories always involve alcohol.
They do. I was sitting on the floor, and my drink of choice back then was vodka and orange juice. Ooh, it's still my drink of choice, but I don't drink it as much.
I was a 151 kid, straight up.
I love vodka, especially when it was...
that rubbing alcohol.
You know.
What brand?
I love back then I was hooked on Absolute.
That was the best at the time.
And Pinnacle was like number 2 and stuff like that.
Because they didn't have what's the new one that came out? Yeah, what was the new one?
Ciroc, vodka, and
no, the other one. Who is real smooth? New Amsterdam. New Amsterdam came out and it was so.
And Grey Goose. Grey Goose was out at that time too.
See, I didn't drink. I told you 151. That was my.
Yeah, Grey Goose vodka was one of the ones because I loved the bottle.
Because you can light it on fire.
The bottle was hot. It was that shaded, that shaved glass.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I was sitting on the floor and we was talking about something I don't even remember what we were talking about. All I know is I would bust out laughing. I got ching-ling-ling-ling-ling glass everywhere. I wouldn't cut it all though. I had to.
Because you had your bun.
Actually, I didn't. I ain't have any hair back then.
Oh.
I don't remember. I don't think I did.
And you ain't cut your hair?
Nope. I was just fine. I was like, oh, your glass broke, and it was winter, dead of winter.
Check more of these funny moments out when you tune into BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We're back. Before we left into talking about casings, I wanted to bring in a point. The human breast milk. Human breast milk has 2.7 grams of casein per liter. Cow's milk have 26 grams of casein per liter. So that, going with the fact that using that as far as the addiction level, that's a lot. Almost 10 times as much. 2.7 grams from a human and 26 grams per casein for a cow. That is a lot to consume. But when you decide that you want to live a vegan life, or at least start to live a vegan life, you have some options here. We just ate this delicious, what is this? Okay, original fruit and nut bar, which was good. Stay away from the kale chips. But Misha, you had some ideas. Give me a day of vegan. What would you eat?
All right, so I'll start my morning with my protein shake. I'll have a plant-based protein. I'll add some greens. some fruit. It just depends on what I'm feeling like. If I want something peanut buttery, I'll add peanut butter or almond butter. It just depends on what you want. Then for snack, I'll have like trail mix. By the time I get to work, I'm already hungry, so I'll have I'll have my trail mix. For lunch, I'll either have like a Buddha bowl, which I will have made the night before, or I meal prep like you have to get through. So my Buddha bowl, I like the ones that have the chickpeas, kale, sweet potatoes, and purple cauliflower. Then I'll have another snack after that. So like I made vegan pot stickers.
I saw that. Yeah.
And then for lunch, I'll make spaghetti, which I'll do the zucchini and the squash. I'll use the little spiralizer to make the noodles. Or I guess if I'm craving seafood, I'll have like a vegan crab cake, which are really good, by the way. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I eat in a day. But every day I'm eating something different, which I love about being vegan.
This is what I'm gonna ask you to do. Every now and then you can send it to me. We can post it. We'll post it on the Sunset Soul page for those who are interested in going vegan and at least trying some new things. We'll post it, and as we see it, we'll continue to post on the Sunset Soul page. Thank y'all for tuning in. On next week, our topic is I did, but what if I don't? I do, but what if I don't? Is what it is. I do, but what if I don't? This is basically we have we are talking about couples that are married and in the in between stages of separation, divorce, the decision making process, and forgive or forget. Basically, that's what it boils to. Yeah, but that ain't always that easy to forgive and forget, and 9 times out of 10 that ain't what's happening.
So it's where you at in the process.
Right. So this is forgiveness is for you, but
Absolutely,
you don't have to forget.
You don't have to.
But if you're going to, if you're going to forget, let's just forget it. Say about. But that is the question. There's a lot of people right now that are in this limbo. They are, in these relationships, and I don't know exactly what I want to do, or I think I know what I want to do today. Yeah. One thing about Sunset Soul, we said when we first started the show that we wanted to give a second thought. So we want to start giving some of this awesome advice that we have around this table and helping others make some decisions that and otherwise kind of difficult for them to make. So if y'all know someone who have some scenarios and some situations that they would like to discuss, of course it would be anonymous. You can inbox me or post to Sunset Soul if you don't need it to be anonymous, and we will put it on the table. Those who are in limbo and need some guidance. Which way should I go, George? Which way should I go? Thank y'all for getting. I want to thank my co-host, Miss Lisha G, Miss Leslie Swirl, Mr. Paul Jackson, and Miss Kamisha Robinson for coming on the show. Those who are interested in this dish that I made, the Moroccan vegetable stir fry with the cilantro, citrus, brown rice, and sweet potato and butternut squash, I will post the recipe on Sunset Soul as well. All right.
Awesome.
Y'all have a good one.
Great show.